Hello everyone, my name's Brian and I'm doing this video at the behest of Banggood.com. You're looking at a XK Blast K110 and other than the fact that they don't give you any instructions, they make a big point of advertising that it's SFHSS, which is one of Futaba's spread spectrum systems, that it's specifically made so it'll bind with those transmitters. So I've got the T8J, and they didn't give you any instructions really to speak of as far as binding it. However, from what they did tell me, I was able to get it to bind, but binding usually has never been a problem for me. I can usually figure out how to bind a transmitter. But the issue that I have is with their instructions. They're very, very poorly written. And I'm going to read you the gyro instructions because, they didn't tell you at all the swash plate setup. You look at it, you got 1, 2, and then you got the third over here. It looked an awful lot like my Blade SR, which is an old one. It's a flybar system. It was probably bad of me to draw a correlation between it, but I figured it was 120 degrees, so I tried that. Only managed to crash it. Plus it's like in stump mode. As soon as you get it, even in 6G mode, it was going 100% full throttle and just smashing right into the wall. So it had some pretty nasty crashes, but I will give XK some credit. They built a pretty rugged helicopter here. It works really quite well. It handles or holds up quite well. And it has lots of power. Man, that motor down there, it screams. So that part I really like. But I had to figure out that the H1 swash plate setting on it was the right one for it. Because once I got it, then it worked fine. And it flew well in 6G mode, and I actually could fly it fairly well in 3D mode. Although I did make some slight changes to the pitch curve because I am a novice and I wanted to make sure I did it right. So I kind of cut back a little bit on the pitch curve and the throttle so that it didn't go into too much negative pitch as I was bringing it in for a landing. As soon as I get used to flying it regular, nose in, hovering, if I can get to that point, then I'll start trying to fly it a little bit more aggressively, maybe do a little inverted flying. But I'm digressing. So anyway, the reason for this video is the fact that it's not working anymore. I tried to go through some of their instructions. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's the gyroscope calibration. And it's the pictures that actually got me to start fiddling with it. And somehow, in the process of trying to do the calibration, the motor won't arm now. The gyros work great, the motors don't arm. So I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of what it's doing. Let me turn on the receiver first. Okay, I got the receiver powered up. And we're going to plug in. I can only hope this makes me a liar because I'd like to fly it. But I doubt it will. So, right at the moment, the throttle cut is off. If I put it on, you can see it comes on and you can see the servos go up and down. If I turn it off, it should start to spin, but as you notice, no motor arming, just goes up and down. So you can see that the transmitter is bound to the heli. It's just not doing anything. So let me read you the instructions here on how to calibrate this. Aircraft factory has passed the flight testing. Gyroscope go awry in individual cases. By calibrating the gyro, makes more stable flight. Now, if the whole instruction manual read that well, I'd be quite happy. So they say, open the remote control. Make sure the throttle stick at the lowest position. 3D switch is in the off position. Now I'm assuming when they say open the remote control, they mean turn it on. Okay, number 2, power the plane. To be self-test is complete. The light's lit. Now it's a helicopter, but they say power to the plane. So, and that's what we did. We powered it up, and the lights came on, self-test was complete, which is where we are right now. Push the throttle rocker. By the hovering of rocker control, the plane landed. Now you tell me, what in the hell does that mean? Push the throttle rocker. By the hovering of rocker control, the plane landed. I don't know. But there's a picture. As you can see, I don't know if I'm getting too close for you, but there's a picture and it shows pushing to the lower right corners the elevator and the throttle rudder combination, because I'm in mode 2. And then it says move the throttle stick to the bottom left corner of braking while braking into the lower right corner of the lift rocker 3 to 4 seconds. Then flash lights appeared to enter the gyroscope calibration. The lights stay lit. After the self-test is complete, you can fly. Well, that's not true, because after the self-test was complete, I could not fly. So I'm going to go through the self-test and I'm going to show you what it is. So basically, you just take the 2 sticks, you push them over to the far left for 3 to 4 seconds. It goes into the self-test mode, then it blinks and it goes solid and you're done. I'll turn it so that you can actually see the blue and the red. They're both lit up solid. It says then you can fly. No, you can't. There's the throttle cut. No throttle cut. And the other one that I did, just so that we can talk about the fact that I did it all, there's also a 6G aircraft hovering mode settings, and they tell you how to debug the hovering. And that has to do with taking the 2 sticks and pulling them straight down like this till it blinks. Then it says to lift it up and then back down and then back down again. That's my understanding of their instructions. Now I figure maybe you have to unplug. Maybe it has to save. So I unplug, I plug back in, let it do its self-check, it's done. As you can see, no throttle cut, throttle going up and down, pitch going up and down, no motor. There's the throttle cut. And of course, you always get really exaggerated pitch movement when you're on that. But when you put it back down into regular, you get the standard amount of pitch that you set on your transmitter. So there you go, Banggood. That's the issue with the Blast K110. It's less than 2 weeks old. Less than 2 weeks old. And it was only because I tried to follow these stupid instructions that it doesn't fly. The reason I did is because the 6G mode, when it was taken off, it was always leaning really far forward, and I'd have to pull all the way back on the elevator to get it to level out. So I figured it's got to have a gyro calibration. So I tried to do both the hovering and the gyro cal, and in the process, I totally messed it up. So Banggood, I want a new heli. I'm really wondering if I shouldn't just get my money back and get a different heli, because if I don't have instructions, or if I can't calibrate this helicopter without it refusing to arm the motor, or even better, what would be the best answer would be to give me instructions on how to correct it. Because if I know how to correct it, I mean, that's what I want. Because I really like the heli. It's a great heli. It flies great. It's got lots of power. I have a Nano CPX, and it puts it to shame. It's bigger than the Nano CPX by a fair amount. It's about twice the size. But it's not that much bigger, and it's just as durable, and it's at about half the cost. So for all those reasons, I really do like it. But I'll tell you, if you do a gyro cal and it stops the aircraft from working, there's no point in that. So Banggood, tell me what you're going to do. Either replace it, or if you can, from XK, get them to give you instructions on how I can fix it. Thanks.